Where to go? Okay, thank you very much for coming out today. I'm Victor McLaughlin, and this is Faye Fleming. You're going to hear a lot from her. I like to say she's not fun size only. She's ferocious, and you'll get to see that in a minute. We're going to talk about relationships, and more importantly, relationship goals. And I'll tell you a little bit about me, and I'll let Faye do her thing, and then we'll jump right into it. I'm a national best-selling author with 22 titles. I've always lived in the Dallas area, and after touring for 25 years with a lot of different novels, I was always asked after the point, can we talk about some of the relationships that were in the book, which I thought was interesting because it seemed that important to me. But what I realized, there were a lot of women who came to the women's groups, book clubs, and the stores who read relationships in the story and said, that sounds a lot like my story, or it sounds a lot like my girlfriend's or my sister's story. You know, her man she can't keep him in line, or she can't keep her stuff together. Because it works on both sides, and said, what do you do if? I just want to know what your thoughts are or perspectives are from a man's point of view on if this happens in a relationship, if that happens. And I thought it was interesting because I'm just one guy, but after being married for 24 years and then speaking to thousands of women about relationships when other men weren't around, women, y'all know, y'all tell y'all business. Yeah, when y'all get comfortable in a discussion, y'all tell it. And it's not like I went back and repeated it, but it gave me an insight into a lot of things that go on inside of a woman's mind and a woman's heart that usually men don't know. So we'll talk about that, and I'll introduce you to, or let Faye introduce herself.
Thank you, Victor. I'm so happy to be here because we can now talk in our own terms, in our own way, about the things that impact us. So my part of this duo is that I am a fortune consultant. I do keynote speaking, I do coaching and training for small businesses, and I've been in research and strategy for 20 years. What that means is that I've been listening to people talk about all kind of relationships. And so really the emphasis for me doing this, because I am a published author too, not of 22 books, but now I'm gonna rub over here and move in that direction. But I belong to an intercessory prayer group, and twice a week, we have prayer and we take requests from all over. And the guy that was leading it, his name is John, did a lot of work to pull it together. And I said, you know what, I have talent, I can do something. So I started doing quotes. And here we go. Now we have 3 different lines of quote deck, inspirational quote books. We got a book coming, a board game forming. We've got all sorts of things that we're doing. But most of all, what I want you to remember about me is that I am you in some phase or another, because we're all going through the same focus. And even though God has blessed me to be a business columnist and all this other stuff, my primary job is less of me and more of him. Victor.
Oh, okay. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, so for the women in the room, how many, raise your hands if you're single. Okay. We got a few, just a few single women? Are you sure? I think it's kind of short on, and they're like, let me see who knows me first.
Pretty sure.
Okay, raise your hand if you always reach your relationship goals. Okay, good. We're going to be honest today. Good. We're going to be honest. Raise your hand if you might be able to use a little help with reaching your relationship goals. Okay, I love it. So I wrote this book. It came out about 6 weeks ago. I was here 2 weeks ago. And we had fun. We had an audience, and they said, okay, we heard about this book. It's helping people. What can a man tell a woman about reaching relationship goals? After speaking to thousands of women over 25 years, I got a real good understanding of some of the dynamics that happen in relationships from the very beginnings. For instance, when women get dressed up, have their nails done, hair done, go out, and not one guy speaks to you all night long. I know it happens because I've seen it. Not one, and when someone to complain, I got my hair done, my nails done, I go out, not one guy speaks all night long. What is that about? It could be about a lot of things. What? Amen, corner. I love it. A lot of it could be about men who are not comfortable approaching a woman who seems like she is not interested. She is not approachable. And some women, Faye smiles all the time. So I just met Faye, and I know Faye got a lot of dudes. I'm just going to tell you. Because she's always smiling, and to men, that's attractive. That's open. That's a soft countenance. That means she's approachable to us, whether she's interested or not. She's smiling. She's gonna get more guys than she wanted in her face. So one of the chapters in here is about how to be approachable, not changing who you are as a woman, not becoming anything different, just finessing the outsides of what you already do. When I and because I met Faye, and Faye is a natural at this. But there are so many women that said, I don't smile a lot when I go out. You know, I get dressed up, I'm having a good time, but it doesn't show on my face. But then your girlfriend or the girl sitting across from you is smiling nonstop because she's grooving, big smile on the face, and guys are stopping by the table, lining up, sending drinks over. You're like, wait a minute. You're thinking, I look as well or better than her. My outfit is banging. We're sitting at the same table, but she always gets the attention. A soft smile is always the lead-in. And this is something I said a couple weeks ago, and I say on podcasts all the time. Ladies, if a guy is looking at you all night, and he is not coming over to speak for whatever reason, it's okay to smile and say, come here. Women who are old school, and I wasn't made like that, I wasn't raised like that, well, the women who were and think it's okay, they get dudes. I don't think there will ever be a time where you say, come here, and a guy won't come. Even if he's not interested, he's nosy. I want to see what this sister's talking about. You know, whether I'm attracted to her or not, a young lady says, come here, I'm going. Every single time.
Okay, no shade, but.
Okay.
No shade, but saying for real, on the real. I think that part of it is we as women need to own our own power and think about ourselves and then think about the guy, right? So the key to a happy life, drink your own Kool-Aid. Smile because you're there and you have breath and you are enjoying your life. And when you are by yourself, you're in good company.
Okay, hallelujah. I meet so many women, and some single, some married. So there's information in my book about for married women as well, maintaining the magic in your relationship and your marriage. There are so many things that, and Faye she's read almost all the book, and she says, I'm very successful at dating. I usually get my way, what I want, and so forth, you know, because that's who she is. As the Faye got, she banging like that. But for a lot of other women who haven't are saying, why not? Why not me? Why is the guy dating me for 3 years and not taking us to the next level? Why is the guy always around and not inviting me out? Why am I getting text all the time but no real, invitations? Or why, if we do get together, it's hanging around his homeboys? Why doesn't he see me as a viable candidate for a successful or serious relationship? And there are a lot of things that go into that, and that's what we talk about in the book. I try not to laugh at Faye because Faye is so confident who she is. And y'all know sisters like that. She goes somewhere, chest out, shoulders back, and men flock around.
6 foot.
Well, because she's 6 feet. That has a lot to do with it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's overly tall for a woman her size. But men like confidence. Men like confidence, and we'll say it all the time, but she was too aggressive, she was too assertive. Now, that woman has a lot of dudes. But what we're going to talk about more in a relationship book like this, Rules for Slaying the Dating Games, there's over 603 rules in here, and it's a short read. There's 14 chapters. No, there's 55 chapters and 14 sections. There's sections about dating men who are your coworkers, dating men in your building, dating, again, your ex, dating your bestie's ex. Y'all never dated y'all's bestie's ex? Okay, I put it in the book because it might be a cultural thing, but because other cultures are saying, I know you dated or dealt with dude 10, 15 years ago. Y'all had what y'all had. I'm 50 plus now. Life is short. This might work out for me. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Yes, and okay. And before,
No shade, but I think that there are plenty of men to go around without recycling my girl's ex, okay? For me, it's all about perspective because the way I got to where I am is that I got run over and backed up just like everybody else, right? And it was not until I said, well, wait a minute, why don't I spend more time on Faye and thinking about what kind of woman Faye needs to be and what I believe. And am I living my life like I talk about myself, right?
Right.
So one of the things that I want to leave with you is that every woman should control her own politics,
That's right.
prosperity, and pleasure.
There you go.
That's right.
Everything.
And when we take responsibility for that, it's not about the man. Because I meet a lot of good men. Not good for me,
Right.
but I meet a lot of good men. I do. And sometimes they just don't want a fun-sized woman. But sometimes I talk too much. Or like this one brother told me, he said, "You really cute, but I can see you work." I have to think. I said, "Oh, brother, you're right on point with that. So I'm gonna get off the stool, and then maybe there's a dumb woman who doesn't want to think, who doesn't need anything from you in that arena. She'll come and pull a spot. No shade, just saying."
I like it. One thing, and I'm trying to remember it word for word, that Faye says, what is it? This is not for me, so I'm going to release you back into the...
You must graciously release people back into the universe for their highest good. Do it lovingly and graciously. Because just because he's not a good man for you, he must be a good man for somebody else. Don't waste his time. And more importantly, this is another thing I say. It's on a quote. I would rather that this brother come in here and when I go to the restroom, he takes money out of my purse than waste my time.
Whoa, hello.
God bless you with some talented ladies. We can make some more money, right? Don't waste my time.
Okay, I think this just got way too real for me. I mean, you broke it down though, and I agree. For any guy, and there's guys in here, you know, we have our own perspective, but for any guy that will waste a woman's time, that's shameful to me because there's better things you could be doing, as in nothing. Yeah, stay at home and do nothing other than waste a sister's time. They have enough struggles in this world just like we do. To add to it is something that I just can't condone. I'll tell you this one thing because it might apply to some people in here. My book came out. I'm sitting at a cigar lounge. There's 3 women sitting there, and they said, "Tell me about the book." Told them a little bit about the book, what it was about, how it could help them finesse some of the fringes of how they date, and also improve their goals, how it could reach their relationship goals. One said, "There's nothing a man can tell me about dating." I said, "But if I'm a man, I'm telling you what works for us. Wouldn't that be something worth listening to?" And she's like, "Well, men think they know." So I stopped talking. Her 2 girlfriends said, "This man wrote this whole book. At least you could do is sit down here and listen." They knew what was going on with her, but I didn't. The past 3 guys she's dated have all left her and got married to the very next one. 3 times. So I said, perhaps, I mean, this is just consideration. Perhaps there is something that you are doing or saying during your relationship with these guys is turning them off because there is something that they cannot or are not willing to deal with. And that next woman might not be nearly as wonderful as you, might not nearly have the good things you have going on, but she doesn't have that one thing they can't stand. And they go and marry the next woman because she doesn't have that one thing they have to deal with. And she, for about 5 minutes, she said, "That makes a lot of sense." And then after her next drink came, she said, "Wait a minute, I don't know." And we started all over again. So,
okay, no shade. Just saying.
I want to hear it.
But sometimes it's a pipeline problem.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, so as opposed to being concerned about how many men holler at you, let's be concerned about how many men you respond to. So you let a man into your pipeline, your life, into your place. Maybe that's the first problem, that you let a suspect in who was never a prospect.
Okay, you dropping science and knowledge up here. So after my book signing a couple of weeks ago, Faye said, "I have this inspirational card deck line." And I said, "What is that?" And she told me there's a lot of quotes. I want you to read them. There's a lot of things that I read in your book that correlate to my inspirational card deck. And you know me, I'm kind of skeptical because I'm a dude. And I said, "Really? Okay, show me." And she gave them to me, and I went, and how many cards were in this deck?
24.
24. And out of the 24, there were at least 22 that I saw correlations in my book. So you've already heard the young lady, you know she's got it going on. But I said, so let's put something together, see if we can talk about what you do and what I do. And I think anytime a woman has, because in my books, I always say highlight. underline, dog ears, circle your best parts. So you can go back and find them when you're talking to your girlfriends, sister friends, or whomever. Make it easy because a lot of stuff you don't want to share. And I'm saying the same thing with face cards. There should be a note or a space for a note, and it actually is on the back of any of these. Say, okay, next time I see my girlfriend, I'm gonna tell her this. Or this is a reminder for me. When I fall back into that same hole I was in the last time, this is a reminder for me just to stop digging. Stop digging.
So the other thing I want to say to myself and other people, because this is a work in progress for me too, is that a couple of things. Part of the issue is when we stay in places and with people who don't celebrate us. We can be unhappy by ourselves. So again, for me, it's always starting from the base of who I am, what kind of woman I want to be. And another quote is, today I will not act outside of the character I have chosen for myself. Will you? Okay, snap, snap. You can't say amen, say ouch.
Oh, okay. I need to go to church with you. All right, so here's some of the topics, and I know we're short on time. Here's some of the topics, more topics in my book. Dating a separated man. Dating a man who's newly divorced. We talked about dating your ex-boo, dating a younger man, an older man, dating a man with money, dating a professional athlete, because there are rules on how you should govern yourself accordingly. Those aren't normal situations. Rules for holding on when your man decides to pull back. A lot of women women have told me something's different. I don't know if it's another woman. I don't know if it's his job. I don't know what's going on, but I notice he's starting to pull back. What do I do? There's rules on how to work that out. And also rules for romance after doing the deed. I have so many women, some of them I don't even know from Facebook that'll DM me. And the women who do know me, it says, okay, I went out with this guy, we had a good time. We hooked up and he hadn't called. And I'm saying, okay, well, he hadn't called in what, like 5 hours, 2 days? Well, it's been a week. And I said, here's me. So did you put your best work in? I mean, we can't ignore the obvious. We can't ignore the obvious. Okay, but I felt like, I was there, I was present, and then, but that's kind of a joke on me. So I always say, how long did you discuss things with him before? Did y'all talk about expectations before? Did y'all talk about expectations after? And most of the time, women are like, no, I liked him. He thought I was cute. We had drinks. We went out to eat. We talked on the phone a couple times. And then, boom. That's really all.
Okay, just saying. The first person we need to speak the truth to is ourselves. So if you look something and like the way that feels, like the way that moves, here's the decision I'm making. Do what you do, let it go. Let it go, because that was a decision that you made. And sometimes when he doesn't call for 5 days, you say, oh, he didn't put the work in, thank God. I'm just saying.
No, I have heard that some guys' work is trash. That's just what I heard. I don't believe it though, but that's what I heard. No, I'm sure there's some guys who just
Or it
not.
could have been a bad night. I give brothers credit. It could have been a bad night.
Oh, okay. He could have had an off night.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are
And he'll
rules.
have the next one with the next chick.
Oh, he didn't get a second chance for.
Why would you repeat something that was not pleasurable?
He might have been just off his game.
Who does that?
Sisters out there like, no, you get one chance to do.
Well, you know what? Like the book says, when I come to slay. And if I can't slay that night, I'll be like, boo-boo. I'm gonna need to make an appointment with you for later. This ain't gonna be a good night for me.
Okay. She said she has a relationship referral because it's not gonna be her. So somebody is gonna get that referral. So if Faith says, he's a nice guy,
He is a nice
he's really cool, but I'm passing him to you, sis. The sex was trash.
With love.
Just with love. Just know the sex was trash. When you get him, the sex was trash. But just know it. Might not be for you, but Faith's passing along. Y'all have any questions? No questions at all? Y'all ready to get the card deck and the book and yes, ma'am.
You said you have a section, I'm a married woman.
Mhm.
So you said you have a section in there that's about marriage.
Mhm.
Okay. That was my question.
Oh, yes. How to keep the magic in the marriage.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of couples after a while, and I saw this just on Facebook yesterday, that a lot of marriages after a time become what do they call it? Part-time coworkers and roommates.
Yeah.
And they talk about it. And I've seen it. I've been in a relationship for a lot of the time. It was like that. And it wasn't that I didn't know how, because I did know how. But sometimes you get tired, and you get tired of trying. And that's when you have to concentrate on one of the cards that Faye had. Where there's something about being around where you're tolerated, or where's your card that says that?
Never stay where you're tolerated. Always stay where you're celebrated.
Yes, because sometimes you have to make a decision. Is this still working for me? And when it isn't, deciding whether you're going to move around. I know in a marriage it's a big step. So before all of that discussion about the D word, is a lot of rules about rekindling your relationship, getting it back on track. And sometimes it's just something as simple as eating Cheerios in the nude. Sit in the bed. What you like? Raisin Bran, Fruit Loop. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna sit here naked. We're gonna eat our cereal, and we just gonna talk about us. Turn the TV off. Turn the phones off, and we're gonna talk about what bothers us. By being married so long, one of the most important things I learned was if it's important to her, it's important to me. If it bothers her and she brings it to me and I don't take it seriously, that's on me. And likewise. But, I'm just going to speak for guys. A lot of guys will say, you're being ridiculous. That's not that big a deal. If your woman says this bothers me, if your woman says this is a problem for me, then it's got to be a problem for you, and then you have to address it. Otherwise, why you wondering why she's not being attentive, why she's not doing the things you require her to do, why when she's making love to you, it's not the same. Brother's like, really? That's what's been going on?
Okay, just saying. Everything changes, right? Everything changes. What we like change, what we don't like changes, our body changes, our attitudes. Some women are in here fanning because you're having your own personal summer. Everything changes. That's how life is. Everything in life has a season, right? So I was married for 25 years. I married my college buddy, and we've been divorced now for 15 years, and he is still a wonderful force in my life. In our 25 years of marriage, he changed, I changed. I was wrong sometimes, he was wrong sometimes. But what we were able to do was to keep the essence and to continue to agree that we love each other, that we will continue to pray for each other, and that when I released the brother back into the universe, he found him a really tall girl. And so everything is good. And so I'm just saying that to say, pain, right, is a fact of life. But suffering, that's optional. Move around.
I like that.
Oh, I got to clap. There we go. There we go. Clap.
It is okay. So do you have any more questions? Because I know we're really, yes, ma'am.
Yes, my question is, what is your perspective on online dating, especially for the generation who is old school, like 40 and up?
Okay, I'll start. I'm 57. There are two chapters in here about online dating. Excuse me, about using technology for your benefit. About some of the things you should be aware of when you're dating people that could or could not be who they say they are, and whose pictures may or may not be who they purport to be or display themselves as. Talking about meeting them in public places, not giving a lot of your information, not giving too much of your heart. I hadn't done it, but my dating game is pretty much on point. So, because I'm a hunter, I will go out and meet women. I have no problem meeting women, and I have no problem meeting quality women. I know a lot of guys who say they don't meet a lot of quality women, so they hunt online. I say go for it. I think I have between 7 and 10 people who have met women online who are dating seriously now. So I think it's a viable option. If you're not from the new generation and you're not built that way, but you still feel like what I'm doing right now is not working for me, I say go for it.
Okay, just saying. I didn't want to engage in online for a long time because I said it could be another woman, or it could be anybody on the other end of the screen. But then I peeped this and said to myself, well, wait a minute. When I meet a man in person, I get his representative. So how is that different from meeting him online and getting his representative? So I would say go for it. as with everything, men, we meet in person, or women, we meet in person, right? Because women still have represented too. You still have to be discerning and figure out who you're dealing with.
Was there one more question?
Yes, I wanted to ask you, when you said that you're a hunter, what other places do you suggest that we would go, especially when nowadays a lot of females, when they get older, they don't have a large friend base. So where do you suggest they go? Whereas I would actually say women, people outside of black race, the females have no problem going to the bar. So if people like us who don't want to go to the bar, what do you suggest? And I don't want to get to church. What do you suggest? Where do you suggest they go with men?
Okay, for those who didn't hear the question, it was where do you go where men are if you want to meet men? I have dedicated 5 chapters in here to meeting men and women picking up men. It's called the pickup paradigm, and it teaches women how to pick men up, just like the white girls pick men up. It's showing black women that you get out of your own way. If you see a guy, smile, say hello. He doesn't always have to be the one who introduces this. I know that's what we talk, but you will sit and watch a lot of other women leave with dudes that you like because those women spoke to those men. So I'm not gonna say church because nowadays not a lot of men at church at some churches. Just to be, to be honest with you. Anywhere there are men. If you want to go to a restaurant, ballpark, where's some of the places? Cigar lounge, even if you don't like to smoke, they have big patios where you don't smell smoky when you leave. Wherever, grocery store. When I was single, I met a lot of women at the grocery store. I used to hang out in produce. Dollar Tree. No. And I love Dollar Tree. Don't get it wrong. I love Dollar Tree. I love 99-cent store. I love them. But I don't pick up women there. Because I know it sounds crazy. But you buying like dollar cleaning products, it's probably not going to work for you. Just like it's not going to work for me. So in the grocery store, anywhere that men, because I would have women who would be in a place where men are all around saying, I can't meet any guys. So my question is, where do you go? And are you open when you go? Are you looking in your phone the entire time? Are you and your girlfriend having a chat the entire time? Because not too many guys are going to approach you when they see you busy. That's disinterested.
No shade, but the first thing I want a man to do is to be courageous and interested enough to approach me.
But
If I gotta run and chase him down, that's probably a good brother for somebody else. Now, having said that, some of my single girlfriends say all the time, one tip is you go to a high-class restaurant, and as opposed to sitting by yourself in a booth, you sit at the bar. Because then that lets men know that you're there to be interrupted, that you're there to have a conversation that opens you up. Also, this other guy taught me that when you approach a man and you see a man that you like, you just do the touch.
That touch works.
You go, oh, that was so funny.
It's not sexual, it's not sensual, but it is it works. It works.
So after Victor told me that, I used it. And what I found out is that it brought the temperature down of a first date. He's kind of anxious, I'm kind of anxious. And then the last thing I will say is that I am absolutely not hunting, I am not looking, but I'm making myself available to be found.
There you go. That is it. Thank you. I know we're out of time, so thank you all very much.
Thank you to the audience.
Yes, thank you for your participation.
Okay, and real quick, your closing remarks, where to find you, that type of stuff.
You can find me VictorMcLaughlin.com, Victor McLaughlin on Facebook. Also, Dating Rules on Facebook, Dating Rules on Instagram.
And you can go to Faye at businessperformancecompany.com. That's my email. Go to our business website, the Business Performance Company. And of course, come out to the Doc Bookshop, pick up your own books by Victor, as well as the inspirational card decks for you to use for yourself, for you to mail to your girls, for you to use as inspiration for other people. Keep them daily. Use them, and as Victor says, write on the back. When one of these works, write on the back so you'll remember this and you will build that into who you choose to become. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all very much.